Brian here from quantlabs.net. We are on step one to creating our own HFT platform, high frequency trading that is. Due to the fact of all the other open source trading platforms, regardless in C#, Java, or C++, or whatever language, are just full of bugs, and a lot of the times the documentation is just not up to par. So we're now moving ahead by doing our own version. This is a general check-in where this video resides. Couple things. First step is to create a working copy of some kind of API into the Interactive Brokers TWS, as Interactive Brokers will become the broker of choice to execute trades. So let's get to it. First, I just want to let you know a couple of checklists. This is where we're going to grab that API. It's an open source project on GitHub. It's all done in C++ for Linux. Also, I've created another blog post here for an unsuccessful build attempt, something called Trading Shim. Just gave up on it. But the reason I'm bringing to this is so that you can see the highlights of today being October 25th. Is that there's a couple of resources that you need to know about. Namely here, where to get the TWS download. Sometimes it looks like it sometimes gets stuck on the splash screen or something or other. There's a number of reasons for it. But these are the instructions to download it and get it running on your Linux environment. I'll show you that in a second, or I'll show you that it does run. But once you get everything configured and installed, these are the Java commands that you need to run because they are just a collection of Java files. So this is what you need to run in your terminal session in your Linux. So that's first. Secondly, and very importantly, is when you try to run the Linux in the TWS in Linux, you need to make sure it's in running as root in your terminal session. So that's critical. Otherwise, you'll just get your splash screen for the TWS just to appear stuck, and it's just due to the fact that it needs to be run as root. Okay, so now we got all that out of the way for the TWS. Why don't we take you to look at the code? So as I said, this is a TWS API. It's all done in C++ for Linux. The important thing to be aware of is to read this README file. In your Linux environment, this is pretty standard across all C++ projects. To get it running, configured, made, and all that, is run the once you download this project and extracted it and all that, you just need to run these set of commands in a terminal shell. Configure or /configure make, and then make install. Okay, and sometimes you may need to set this up as well, your auto reconfigure as well. So just be aware of that. As I've explained how to do a build or basically a make on the project for the TWS API, there's a few areas I want you to be aware of under the test. There's this one here where we're going to test the POSIX socket client. So if I go into that folder, you will find basically two C source files that you want to be concerned with. The main CPP and the POSIX test client CPP, which are right here. This is the main. All I want to really show you is just this, that it will start the connection into the client, which is really the TWS, and then it will do an infinite loop looking for once it runs this little guy here, the test POSIX science, POSIX test client CPP. So basically what this does, it does a connection into the TWS, and then it will try to put an order in for Microsoft. Right here, placing an order, and it'll do a cancel, and then it'll just seems to print out the current date time is. Now all I cared about was just making sure that that this C++ program connects into TWS. That's all I care about at this point. So when I go into my Oracle virtual box where I have a Ubuntu virtual machine created, I have the TWS running, and that's all following these instructions here under the interactive brokers. I've given that link before. And essentially, I just wanted to run the client socket program. So it's running right now. Okay. So right here, it just said that there's a termination of a client, which is correct. So that's this on the left. This left one is the TWS Java running, and that's going to dump a bunch of messages to the log or wherever it's going to go to, or the console in this case. And this one on the right is running that test POSIX socket client. So let me just show you the directory path. So here's that subdirectory or that subfolder I just showed you in the source file in the GitHub here. This guy here. So jump it back into the virtual machine. I'm going to run that client. So there you go. It's connected. It's terminating, canceled. Okay, so basically what's happened is it's connected in to the TWS. You can tell that by right here, starting, connecting. It says connected. It does seem to spit out these error IDs. It's a demo. It's put the order in, canceled it, and now it's spitting out that date and time stuff. So here you can see the sold for something or other. But either way, that's been it is talking with each other, which is what all I really cared about at this point. Before I forget, there's only one thing I want you to do on any API connection into the TWS you need to be aware of. So you come under Edit Global Configurations here. You come under API. Make sure you have two settings correctly set up. Enable ActiveX socket clients. Okay. That's got to be clicked on, and then you have to enter in your trusted IP address. So that's where the IP address of your socket client, in case it's all local, it's going to be the default 127.0.0.1. And that's pretty well it. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but I'm hoping this really helps you out, and we're going to move on to the next step with the Redis.